Hello, lovelies. So I'm coming on today to share a story on my private Facebook group and for YouTube because when daily when I meditate, my guides seem to, in my life, put before me certain situations and so that I can focus on something and I come to an understanding and I share it with people. And so on Friday, I was meditating. I was going to do a channel for my group, and I started getting really heavy, kind of weird energy. And so I stopped. And, as the morning progressed, I felt really anxious and had a lot of anxiety, felt a lot of death around me, and just really kind of scattered energy that was causing me some stress. So I went and saw a reader that I will go see occasionally. And so there really wasn't anything in the message there um, that I felt shifted anything for me. But what I realized was that as the day was progressing for me and this anxiety and almost kind of doom feeling like I say, the emotions of death surrounding me and just feeling like something was coming, as that started to increase, because I got out of my space where I was in, I switched it up by going to see her and just almost sharing that event or that situation and just talking about it. Really, by the time I left, that energy was gone from me and I felt so much better and I didn't have the stress. And so the situations that I've kind of been taking note of around me are in relationship. And, in relationships that where people have been in relationship for a while and, it's kind of gotten to a point where now there's challenges or struggles. And what from these different situations and what the Friday situation for me showed me was that what happens is that we have an energy because we have a thought, and this particular thought is energy and stores in the body in the body, and also it fills our mind, and it's a memory, it's an energy that continues to show up daily. And so on Friday, how that energy left me, part of it was, I think, fear coming up, just on, not really wanting to see something really deep of what's happening. So I do feel like for myself that, I do experience events coming up globally and in my circle as well. And so it was almost like a fear of wanting to fully see that. But what changed for me was just to get like to leave. I left my house, so there's movement. I got out of the situation, so to speak, because my house is where I was meditating. So by leaving my house now, I'm changing the action, the movement. By talking about it, it also kind of got that energy out of my body. And and so shifting a habit, shifting an activity, shifting movement, getting out of that situation of what is causing that stress. So really those are the things that happened. And so it was kind of almost like, we want to show you this, and now you can relate it to this. And so, really, with the relationships, what I've been noticing is that it is the same as what I kind of talk about a lot, which is that, you know, every day we wake up and we're in the same situation that we were yesterday, because we're in our home with whoever's in our space. So the same thing. And that memory and energy is held within the mind, but also will store within the body. And so it's almost like a trigger of that memory or event, of that thought, of that energy, because we're in the same space. And with relationship, there may be something about that relationship that is starting to kind of grate on our nerves or annoy us. And it really is and stems from a thought, because that thought will trigger an emotion within our body. And so that emotion that's triggered within our body then really drives the action that we take. And so if it's, for instance, in a relationship, waking up and seeing your partner being in the space of relationship in the home that you share is triggering that emotion. And it's the same emotion that you felt yesterday and the day before that. And so, then that emotion is triggered. And so the action that we take might be, okay, I'm going to leave the house, or I'm going to be silent, or I'm going to feel angry or resentful or hurt or frustrated until something else changes. And the thing is that every day you follow the same patterning, because you're holding on to that thought, that energy, and it is triggered every day by seeing your partner, and then nothing shifts. And so it just creates this space and separateness and isolation, because we begin to shut down, turn off, leave the house, sleep, or do something that is taking us out of that relationship. And so that's why we see a lot of challenges and struggles and things eventually over the years breaking down. And so my thing on Friday was that understanding and realization that when we wake up and we have that emotion, we really need to get out of our head. We need to change up our routine, and we need to, more importantly, change that thought. And so again, we come back to recognizing the thought that is causing that emotion within our body. And so changing that thought, leaving the space that, which would be your home. So whether you go out every day to work, that's good because it shifts it. But then do you notice the moment you come back home from work, if you're going to work, that then that emotion comes back. And so really, we can get out of the space, but when we come back into that space, that emotion and thought is triggered. And so what we need to do then is really take the time to look at the thought. And we can recognize that thought by just, stopping and taking a look in our thoughts, in our mind. Okay, what is the thought that I'm thinking here? Because whether you're saying, you know what, you never listen to me, or I'm coming back from work and I'm picking up your socks again, for instance, it's even that. So let's take the situation that, okay, we wake up, we feel resentful or grumpy, and we don't really talk to our partner, or if we do, we're barking something or we're rehashing something from the night before. Then we go to work, so your energy shifts because now you've left the space and you have a good day. But now you come back home and you maybe again, you feel this emotion. For one thing, you can change and control that emotion by just on the way home, thinking, okay, I'm not going to go home and do the same thing. Today I'm going to go home and I'm going to feel happy. So it really is making that choice to shift your emotion that you're feeling, that you're going to feel coming back into the home. So we come back into the home. So before we get there, maybe you're turning on the radio and you're listening to music, not news, but music. And you're, driving and moving your body. Maybe you get out of your car somewhere and you shake off or walk onto grass, take off your shoes and ground, do some grounding, and then get back in the car, go home. But you've shifted your emotion, you've shifted your energy before going into the house. And then once you're there, you're going to really be aware of, am I going to say the same thing that I did yesterday? Is the first thing that I'm going to do is complain about the socks on the ground? Or am I going to make a decision to come into the house and be open and, hey, hun, how was your day? And have a smile. So really it is choice. But what happens, the moving parts, so to speak, is that when we're in our space, we're triggered by our environment, by the thought, and when we leave our space, when we change our situation, our location, then our energy shifts. And when we go back into the space where we're triggered, or with the person that is triggering us, all as we have to do is shift that energy that's held within the body. Just shift it by dancing, by listening to music, and then again, gaining control of the thoughts within your mind and shifting that and deciding to be and do something different. Today I'm going to change, my routine that I normally do. And what you're doing is you're changing and rewiring your mind to do something different and become something different. Because, again, like I've always said, is that we stay in the past. And what that means is that we continue to carry that emotion or energy from an event or situation that happened days ago, weeks ago, months ago, or even sometimes years ago. And so we carry that within our body. We are triggered, that emotion will become triggered when we are around that person or in that space, whether we're going to work, whether we're coming home, whatever the situation is, you can relate it to the situation that you have. And all as we have to do is to release that energy, move from our space at the time when we feel ourselves spiraling, I like to say, or sit down and write on a piece of paper all the thoughts that are going through your head. But if you don't make that conscious decision or choice to change what it is that you're doing at the time so that you can change that emotion that you're feeling, it will stay the same. So that's just the piece that I needed to share, and I hope that makes sense. Please let me know in the comment section under the video if this makes sense for you and if you can relate it to your life and a particular situation in your life. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.